Hello, Aquarius. This is Fuel the Soul, and I'm here with your reading for July 16th through the 31st. I have shuffled these cards um, and cleansed them. Uh, and that was interesting, just for a minute there. And I cleansed them. I'm shuffling them now in front of you as well, and letting you all know I won't be doing any readings in the month of August, and I'll be back in September. Also, I wasn't well the last couple of weeks, so I wasn't able to respond or comment. So I'm letting you know I apologize for that, but it happens. And um, I'm going to try to get back in touch base with people that have made that effort. Okay, so I am breaking these up to try to get your reading out. Okay, so I didn't mean to dismiss that so quickly, but I know people want to get to the readings. Okay, so Aquarius, July 16th through the 31st. The first card is the Six of Pentacles. Wait, I apologize. Wow, this card is hard to see. It is the Six of Pentacles. Wow, it's a busy card, guys. Huh. What's that about? Okay, so sorry, I had to look. The Six of Pentacles. It's hard to even find the pentacles, so that's kind of making me think, All right. The next one is the Ace of Wands. And the next one is the Two of Swords. And the last card is the Knight of Wands. Okay, so let's see, the Six of Pentacles. I found it rather difficult to find the pentacles in here, so that's kind of funky. So I see that this person is having to pay out people. And I feel like he doesn't seem to be all that stressed about it. It's almost like this person is accustomed to being the breadwinner and the financer and the controller. And it looks like Aquarius in the month of July seems to kind of have it under control, their finances. So maybe this is like a summer thing, because we go in cycles. But for now, I don't see him stressed out. And the next card is the Ace of Wands, and it just doesn't seem to be very stressful to me, which is a good thing. So perhaps Aquarius is finding a method to the madness of paying people out. That's your bills, your life. Maybe there's even a little space there for a mini vacation. So this person, Aquarius, male or female, is like paying everyone out, and I see their hands out, but it almost feels like the money could be disappearing kind of quickly. So this person is doing a good job of it. And we see that because the Ace of Wands means that Aquarius has the gift, the ability to make money, to be lucrative, to be agile, to be versatile, and to make money. Do the hustle. To be in the hustle can do it. This Ace of Wands talks about that. You see the daisies on the bottom? That also talks about the growth and the ability for Aquarius to be able to cultivate and create money and to sustain it, like maintain the balance, because this doesn't seem too out of control. It seems like actually Aquarius is spending maybe even spending a little money. There could be two things going on here. One is the control and managing to handle it. And the other one could start explaining about getting a little bit out of control and the money kind of getting harder to grab at. And the reason I said that is because it was really hard to find the money in this card. And I thought that was really odd. And I felt like it was a sign for me to bring it up. So I am bringing it up, that money, maybe money's getting a little scarce. I mean, you're making it happen. You've been doing a great job. You can make the money. You can cultivate it to make it expand and extend it out enough so that you can cover your bills and have a little extras. But it seems like there's some kind of a decision that starts to come in, or not a decision, but more like debating between two things. I feel like Aquarius is contemplating on a choice. And it may be about some kind of moving on, moving. And it might be that Aquarius has options. Um, and that Aquarius wants to kind of get moving, get charging. I feel like doing the camera. You know, I feel like Aquarius is kind of getting the bug to get moving. And the only thing is that there's some tough calls to make. It feels like there's some tough calls to make. That's what I'm hearing about where to go, what to do in regards to your your personal life. You know, the Ace of Wands can also talk about work, because we see the paying out of the bills or handling life's pressures. I see the Ace of Wands, which talks about you having control and also the ability to make money. It could even be that you've even been, I know this, I don't like talking like this, I don't know why, but I feel like there's even a job opportunity that will pop up, some kind of gig for you guys. And it seems like it's kind of, that might be the tough call that you're trying to make. It's between two things. You know, it could be a gig, because we see this, some type of work thing. And it seems like that could even affect the money. And it's like a tough call for you to make. But I see Aquarius wants to go. I feel like you want to do it, but the decision making is becoming evident that it's difficult for you. But you're getting antsy. You want to do something. And I feel like that's what's kind of going on. Now, I haven't been pulling cards on everybody else's readings because they've been real deep and profound. This is more like the day-to-day stuff. So give me a minute. Let me see what else I see. You're the first reading that's coming out more day-to-day. Well, actually, it is about your future, because it is about possibly a job and about your finances. Let me see. I see that it's being... Let's see. I'm going to pull some extra cards because I feel like we should do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull a couple of cards on the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles, the next card that comes up is the Queen of Cups. And then after that, we have the Two of Wands, which could be about moving on. It could be that some of you Aquarians out there are experiencing like a separation or a breakup. And the Two of Wands talks about one of you departing and making the decision to move forward. And the paying out, the Six of Pentacles, that could be what I was seeing. The difficulties in deciding what to do, maybe to leave or not leave, because the money. Let's be realistic, the money, you know? So that's kind of what I'm seeing too. Now let's pull two on this Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands, we see the Eight of Swords and then the Fool. Okay? So on this one, we see that the Ace of Wands talks about the fact that you do have the ability to make and create and hustle for the money. But right now you're feeling stifled, right? I think that's the word, stifled. I just heard it. And it this Eight of Swords talks about how you're feeling right now. Okay, for all those Aquarians out there, I feel like you feel like this about, even though you can make that money or have the ability, you have a job or whatever, it just seems like you don't feel like that. Even though you have this in your corner, you don't feel that way right now. You feel like this. And it's all the mental game going on. But I believe now that I'm looking over here, it's your personal life that's affecting your money life. You know, they're like this. I feel like all the paying out and that you've been managing everything, it sounds like there might be some kind of thing going on where people are choosing to go in different ways, possibly. And although you create the money and have the ability, you have a job or something that replenishes you or keeps replenishing you, it's like you feel like this though. But I believe all of this is like the mental game from the personal life. And the Fool card talks about how you really don't know what direction to go in right now. I think you're afraid to jump off the cliff. And some of the cards that'll show the Fool kind of jumping off a cliff. And to me right now, I'm just kind of saying it as like, I think they call it a metaphor. But I mean, I just feel like you don't know where to do. So you're kind of a bit, you're in the confusion of it, and it's kind of, it's messing with your head. It's messing with your head. It's messing with your head. And that's why the Two of Swords pops up, because it is a tough call to make about maybe moving on to like some job that could help you kind of move things along, or into different directions, or the fact about actually wanting to maybe split from an individual. Let's pull two cards on the Two of Swords. We see the Seven of Swords, and then we have the Two of Pentacles. So yeah, it's almost like possibly Aquarius is like, maybe I can kind of do this on the down low. Or maybe I can make arrangements with no one knowing what my plan is, and just kind of keep it quiet. Maybe like an escape route, or escape hatch, or escape plan. And what I mean by that is more just like, I think anybody, male or female, any sign, if you think something's kind of going not in the right place, maybe you start taking stock of what options you have. And sometimes you don't tell that other person, obviously, because you don't know really where you're at yet. The Two of Pentacles also speaks of, again, trying to figure it out, trying to handle both worlds, maybe the work life and the personal life, and trying to sustain them until you decide if you want to get moving or not. Let's pull two cards on that. Take a quick peek, look at something. Sorry, guys. Okay, sorry, that was my person that works for me. Okay, so the next card for the Knight of Wands is the Four of Swords. And then we have the Hermit. So the Knight of Wands talks about, I think, moving on, possibly going somewhere else. And the Four of Swords talks about wanting to find this peace, because you don't really have it right now. I feel like Aquarius, you have the day-to-day, you might go to the job, and you might have the family that you support, or you have your friends, you have this environment, this group, this social group that you hang out and kick it with. But I feel like you really don't have the peace. I feel like I don't really see that the happiness here. I saw it with the Six of Pentacles. I saw it like you didn't mind that you had to pay things. I think you understand that life is kind of about that. If you have use electricity, you pay the bill. If you use cable, you pay, right? But it seems like I don't see you having that joy that you need to kind of keep you put. And I feel like there might even be some restlessness going on. And I think the Four of Swords talks about you trying to find that peace. And then the Hermit card comes in, and the Hermit card talks about you find, like, okay, wait, you understanding what it is you want, and maybe the maturity level kind of shifting for you. Maybe you were here and now you've moved a few more steps, and maybe you'd like to be like this hermit where you have the experience and like you've thought about it, about what changes you want to make, and that perhaps you might be now ready to do that. But it's hard because you have to sustain both worlds over here. You have obligations, and so you feel like maybe you can't leave that job because you've got hard decisions to make, which could be family and work and just yourself. It's like there's this balance trying to go on and trying to decide what to do with where you are at this point in your life. And if you're honestly, I feel like if you're, are you happy? Like that's kind of, I feel like, are you happy with this? Maybe part of you saying, I don't know if I can see myself here forever, this isn't what I thought it would be. And so you kind of getting the itch to kind of maybe move on, to find something that stabilizes you and gives you peace. And you maybe looking at this deeper and more mature. And that's why you haven't actually done it. You haven't ran off, because the Hermit card tells you, hold up, wait, because you have possibly mouths to feed and obligations and a job that you have to, you can't just leave it. You have loose ends everywhere. And the Hermit card talks about you don't leave loose ends, you handle it. The Hermit is aware about life and all of life's beautiful creations. And so the Hermit understands and respects life and respects the rules of the earth, right? So it's kind of like caps it off and says, if you're going to do something like this, which is maybe like an exit plan or the act of wanting to leave or do something like this, I feel like the Hermit card starts to talk to you and say, hold up. I understand you want this eternal peace. I know you want this because you're tired, but you have to think smart, because there's costs here. There's obligations possibly here. And even though you want to split, you have very important factors in the matter, possibly work and your money. And so you find yourself stuck and not really being able to make choices. So this is in the middle. So I see you kind of stuck because those choices are difficult ones about moving on or not moving on, about being honest with yourself or trying to hang in there and see if you can make this happen or make it work. But part of you knows that you have to start planning something in case no one's happy. But meanwhile, you'll try to create the balance between both worlds, the personal life, the work life, and try to keep everything balanced. before you make a decision to move on, to find and seek that calmness and peace that this person is laying down, looking into the sky, looking for that, the sign of that calming effect that lets you breathe. And then the Hermit card reminding you, don't do it abruptly, don't do it on the sneaky. Try to deal with the reality. The Hermit is about the realities of life and how one must deal with them with honor. And some things you keep to yourself, but not everything. You don't throw a cold bucket of ice on everybody. Okay? So it looks like Aquarius has a lot of thoughts going on. You know, I think if I can remember, I feel like Aquarius over the months, I feel like Aquarius has been burnt out a lot. And I'm so sorry if some of these times, these readings, if I'm like, oh, you know, you're burnt out or you're bummed. You know, this doesn't have to be a bad thing. This could also talk about Aquarius's growth and wanting to expand and move on. So we have to respect that. We have to respect your thoughts, your wants, and your desires. And what I say here is though, as we respect you, try to also for you so that you leave good if you ever do decide to leave a job, a friendship, a family, a relationship, whatever it is, that you try to leave it right, that you try to leave it good, so that there's no, you know, nothing on your side of the street. And people can respect that about you, Aquarius. Wherever your life path takes you, wherever your private road takes you, we want you to handle your business and people to respect you. Okay? So, next thing is, I don't know why I'm doing this, guys. These cards I've had, and I've never really dug them. I'm like, they're too mushy, they're too lovey-dovey and too flowery. I can't stand them, right? But something told me earlier today, grab a card, start trying to read them. So I am shuffling these cards, and I'm going to pull one card and see how, because I'm finding that I'm able to read them, but I just read them differently than maybe how some other people read them. Not that I'm the only one. And let's see what we get. These are, I think those Doreen Virtue Love cards or something. All right. Okay. There we go. And your card is Retreat. Okay, so like I said, these cards are mushy for me, but I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to see what I feel from this card. So let me read it to you. It says Retreat on top, and then on the bottom it says, it's time to disconnect from the world. There we go. Okay. So this card already starts talking about what we were speaking about, which is about Aquarius looking for this place to kind of, for change, you know, like pulling back and thinking about moving on. And the retreat talks about you going somewhere else to find that peace that we saw here. The retreat card to me also talks about, as I'm looking, you know, it's pretty clear, retreat, it's time to disconnect from the world. But I think what it is that for Aquarius, I think you need a place and a space to fucking think clearly. That's what I'm getting. Like, you've got so much going on. Like, for example, if you've got kids, or if you've got an old man or an old lady that lives with you and you work and you've got the day-to-day crap, it's hard to find time for yourself to think clearly even. You know, and this is why this card starts to pop up, because holding it down isn't easy for you. There's no place for you to retreat to think clearly about what it is you truly want to do and where you really want to be. And this might also talk about you having to redirect your life, like remanage your life. You're the manager of your life and your family, your unit, your world. And to me, I feel now like you're the boss, right? So it's like you're the boss. And it's like you have to think about what works for you, your company, and for the employees that work underneath you. Or even if you're not the boss, but you have a boss and you work with that boss, it's about communicating and creating that balance so that this business can be successful. Your this is life success. Okay? Business success, emotional stability, financial success. And the retreat card talks about you trying to find that in July. And I think that that means you have to find a place where you don't have a lot of static chatting in your ears. All this, people nagging you and wanting from you, want. You need to just pull back before you start taking any of these actions, whatever it is. If you're leaving a partner, leaving a job, thinking about moving, whatever it is, you don't want all that static in between you when you make your decision. You have to find that place to disconnect so that you can make sound decisions, where you're like, okay, you don't have all the shit going on between this chatter bullshit in your head, and then you can think things out and like weigh out the consequences about your choices. And even if let's say you decide to stay and work with what you have, maybe it's about reorganizing and remanaging your family unit or your work unit so that it works for Aquarius. And it's totally freaking possible to do. I know it is. I know it is. I myself have done it. I've turned it all around, man. Ooh. So I know that you can do it, Aquarius. So it just talks about you really trying to figure out what it is. I definitely think that you need to take the time where you're away from the bullshit so you can think clearly. I'm not saying go away forever. I'm saying you need to find some space where you're cool so you can think about whatever it is, those life choices that are coming up for you, that are bugging you, and you want to get moving. I know you're getting antsy. So I say to you, think about how you can um, create that place of peace where where you can. I don't know if it's just sitting in your car at night, but you can't be like, no disrespect to you, but you can't be drinking or you can't be in stress mode. I think you have to be sitting in your car, sitting with an acquaintance, or talking to a therapist, or to a healer, or to a friend, and really just talking about what that would look like if you move on from one place to the other, whatever the relationship or the situation is. So that's what I see. That's my advice for you. And I find that what I like about you, Aquarius, is even though I see one card here I'm not really digging, I feel like, you're a really good person, Aquarius. You really are. Because I see you trying to make it happen and I see you trying to do the right thing. What is the right thing, right? Okay, everybody has their own. But for me, I see you trying to do the right thing. So I really respect that because I don't see a lot of ick and connect here. I see Aquarius really trying to fucking make it happen and trying to keep it cool. So I give you all my energy and I say to you, you don't have to hurry up and jump off. You can organize your life and you can communicate and you can find strength in you. Find it in you. And you know what, man? If you need to throw new ingredients in to make a delicious stew for life, a delicious stew of life for you that only you can eat, but out of there you can give others, then you do it. So Sometimes it talks about what Aquarius has to do to find the balance in life. So that can take off in different avenues. But I find that you're trying to make it happen. You're trying to find what's right, and you're trying to create that balance, and you're trying to handle your bills, and you're trying to handle, life. So in July, I see all these interesting things starting to pop up, these thoughts, which I think have already been floating around for Aquarius. They're popping up again. And like I've been telling everybody in my readings, I feel like my readings aren't 2 weeks. I feel like they're way longer than 2 weeks. These things don't happen in a week or two. So I don't know what's going on with my readings. They just seem to be more long term. They definitely feel they're for the month. So if I might say 15th through the 31st or whatever, but it seems like they're overlapping, okay? So remember that, Aquarius. Remember that we like where you're at and that we support you with your life decisions. So take that time to think about what it is and how you want things to be. And that might require you readjusting things in your life if you want to stay kaput. And if you want to get moving, then you need to talk about organizing that within yourself, within your family life, within your workspace, work life, and your finances, to see where this can take you, where this itch that you got going, this itch you got to get doing something going. Maybe it's not really leaving of something. Maybe it's about you recreating something new and fresh that revitalizes you, because you're like maybe just worn down by the day to day, and maybe you're not seeing or valuing things the way you used to. But that can come back. But it requires Aquarius looking at things and then organizing and planning and communicating. So with that energy, I give you all of that, man, so you can handle your business in the month of July. Aquarius, you got it in you to take care of anything. I know that. Okay, you guys are the shit. So I'm Fuel the Soul, man. Handle your business, and I'll see you in September. Lots of love. Bye.